Coach O, and you are listening to my favorite radio show, Off the Bench with Jordy and T-Bob, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Go Tigers.
All right, getting closer. September 26th. We're getting there. NFL kicks off this weekend. College football was playing yesterday. The Tigers will host Mississippi State on September 26th. We talked about the recruiting weekend. We'll ask the head coach here on OTB, Coach Ed Orgeron, with us every Tuesday morning here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
Great to have you back on the show. We mentioned this weekend that there's some rules around recruiting, that schools cannot have contact on campus, and you're one of the top college football recruiters recognized by that, and you had some of the top talent in Baton Rouge this weekend. How was that for the program and for you?
Yeah, obviously, it makes it tough that we can't organize it. We can't see them on campus. We can't have any contacts with them. But this was organized by some of our top recruits. Some guys are already committed. Some guys are really consider us and their parents, and they came here. And from what I'm hearing, they had a great time. They did as much as they can legally, and I think they really enjoyed bonding together. And I think there was about 20 of them on campus in town. And from what I hear, they had a great time.
Yeah, the social media was fantastic from the weekend, and by all accounts, it looked like everybody had a great time. Coach, I'm watching college football, and it looks sloppy. There's no preseason NFL games. I know you guys had a scrimmage on Friday night, and last year you guys were so disciplined when it came to penalties. What are you seeing through this point in getting your team prepared for the season, and how much of not having a real true preseason do you put an emphasis on the discipline part of the game?
It was really a big emphasis. We only had 4 penalties the whole scrimmage.
Wow!
So that was huge for our football team. It was a great scrimmage. It was good to see our guys go live in Tiger Stadium. Preseason game number 1. The atmosphere was electric. Coaches were fired up. Players were fired up. There was a lot of energy. You know, I told our players, I don't know how many fans are going to be in the stadium. We have to provide our own energy. So I thought our defense flew around, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I thought our offense fought back and made some plays, did a great job. Offense did a great job on the goal line series, did a great job on third down. It was a seesaw battle. I'll say it was 50-50 right down the middle, offense, defense. Some guys that really looked very well. I thought our linebackers played well. Damone Clark and Jabril Cox were all over the field. Andre Anthony and Travis Moore had a good scrimmage. Our running backs ran the ball well. I thought Miles was excellent. Our young quarterback did some good things. Eric Gilbert scored 2 touchdowns. So a lot of guys made some good plays, a lot of positive things, a lot of things to clean up. But we had to clean up a lot of things for preseason game number 1. Now we got preseason game number 2, and hopefully we make less mistakes this week.
Coach, the picture of Gilbert on social media was the buzz. Everybody was raving about it, but then the defensive guys were commenting on the picture saying that it was a sack.
So that's
what
a
happened?
classic defensive BS lie right there. I know.
It was very close. I called the sack.
Wow.
It was very close. It could have went either way. And usually I give the defense the benefit of the doubt, but I really enjoyed watching Eric Gilbert hit that touchdown pass. I promise you that.
I mean, that's what happened. You got a defensive-minded head coach.
Yep.
I mean, there's always so many sacks in practice. Never know why it doesn't translate to the game. So funny how that works out. Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench. Coach, you kind of jogged something in my brain here where you talk about creating that energy, right? And I'm watching the NBA playoffs, and they're in the bubble. And Van Gundy's talking about how it's just so odd because compared to the normal playoffs where the electricity's through the roof, like it's a dead stadium. Teams, the teams that are succeeding are the ones that can get it going themselves. You are a master energy motivator. How are you approaching this season? Like, how are you going to get these guys ready to play on game day with even if it's got some people, a relatively empty stadium?
It starts in practice. I believe we have the best. You guys know this, and Tommy Moffitt and the strength staff. They provide energy. Our coaches provide energy. We're clapping. We're screaming. We're running as much as we possibly can in practice to create that energy so we can practice well. and we had to wrap it up a little bit on Friday because, obviously there was nobody in Tiger Stadium. But it's something that we used to. There's nothing, and there's no way we can wrap up all the energy that we need to match the energy in Tiger Stadium. So it is going to be a little bit of a letdown, but it's like that for both teams. So the team with the most, that can create the most energy, is going to have an advantage.
Coach, what about offensive line? We mentioned the scrimmage on Saturday. Obviously, that position group is one that we always keep an eye on. But Lloyd Cushenberry just named a starter in the NFL. Liam Shanahan now trying to fill those shoes. How did how the center position look and the O-line as a whole?
Yeah, Liam's doing well. He's handling the physicality, sticks on blocks, has some outstanding snaps, making calls. I think he's pretty much looked like he's locked himself in the starting center. It's not for sure now, but he looks like that he's going to be our starting center. Ed Ingram's practicing well. Darrell Rosendahl's practicing well. Austin Deckles is back practicing well. Chason has had a good week of practice. But again, you know how it is in the preseason. There's a battle between the offense and the defensive line. We gave up way too many sacks, but that's because of some blitzes and some protection breakdowns. But I think we're going to get that fixed this week.
Coach, did you get a chance to watch any of the college football over the weekend or maybe the last couple of weeks? I know y'all are very busy.
Yeah, I think I watched about 2 plays Saturday night, fell asleep. That's too late for me. But, I watched a little bit. I watched BYU a little bit. Coach Grimes last night. Again, I watched a couple of plays, but I'm not that interested in watching other teams. I'm more interested in watching ourselves, to be honest with you.
Well, and I guess the reason why I ask is because in that BYU-Navy game last night, the Navy coach was kind of lamenting he did a contact-free camp, right? They only hit dummies, only hit pads, and he was kind of saying that's one of the reasons why they just weren't ready to go. How do you approach that? How do you approach that balance of being physical and getting ready for that first game without exposing yourself to too much risk?
Well, we're going to hit. And the only way to learn how to hit is to hit and the scrimmage. So we're following the same plan I've always followed in preseason camp. Now, the only thing is we're limited in practices. We only have 25 practices, so we have a limited number of hours. We only have 20 hours during the week, so it's not as much time with the players. But when we get here, now we're not hitting every day, but like today is a big contact day, tomorrow's a contact day, and Friday's a contact day. So you need to hit to learn how to play football. That will never be the case at LSU of us not hitting.
Coach Ed Orgeron joining us here off the bench every Tuesday, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. What'd you think of your quarterback play on Friday?
I was pleased. I've been pleased with Miles all camp. I think that he's had an excellent camp. He's doing the things that we asked him to. He's not perfect. No quarterback is. But I thought his leadership and his decision-making is spot on. His balls are tight. He's worked very hard. He's taken leadership of his team. TJ Finley continues to improve. Just watching the 2-minute drill from yesterday, made a big throw for a touchdown. Max is very athletic, making some good decisions out there. So I'm pleased with all three of them. But right now, Miles is clearly our starting quarterback.
I know you can't do anything about this, but your backups look like they're true freshmen. What's the mental state for you going into the season? Know that those guys are a play away.
Yeah, I think that I feel good. I feel good that when we go preseason game 2 and 3 and throughout the season, hopefully Miles stays healthy. But there's some things that Max does well. There's some things that TJ does well that we can tailor make our offense, make a couple of shifts here and there to help them, to take the pressure off of them. I'll tell you what's going to help us, those backs we got. We got some tremendous backs led by Chris Curry. He's having an excellent camp. Tyron Davis ran over 2 or 3 defenders to make about a 20-yard run.
Yeah.
John Emery got on the edge several times and made some big runs. So we got, and then Trey Bradford. Trey was a little banged up, didn't practice on Friday. He's going to come back. Now, I'm going to tell you, a young man that's making some headway is Josh Williams, a walk-on from Houston. Josh made some big plays in the return game. And then Keenan Dunn, another walk-on. Those guys are doing some good things. So I think that Kevin Falk is doing a great job with our backs. So I'm very pleased with him.
Yeah, wow, that's not expected. You know you're doing a good job. If you're a walk-on, you end up on the head coach's radar. Talking to head coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench. Coach, I know that y'all are always looking forward. And so with that in mind, what was this first week like after the departures with Jamar Chase and I guess mainly Jamar Chase no longer on that field?
Yeah, the next man up. And I'll tell you what, the day that Jamar left, Keyshawn Butte had his best practice.
Oh.
Next man up. I mean, really, and I don't want to put too much on him, but it looks like he's going to be the next one. And next one, great one at LSU. Him and Cormore, two excellent young wide receivers. So, hey, next man up. Nobody can beat Jamar Chase. Jamar was a great player for us. Those guys got their own style. And, you know, there's a lot of balls to be thrown out there. So we need to find some young receivers that can come out and catch some balls for us.
Coach, what are the what's kind of the chatter in the defensive team room about Arik Gilbert?
They love him. They're glad he's on our team. You know what I'm saying? And really, to see him line up at X and run a fade route, to see him line up at tight end and block. He's a physical. He's a great young man. There's so many things that we can do with him. Our players love him.
Another week of these young defensive linemen growing and developing, Coach. I know that there's expectation for them to be in a rotation. How has your interior defensive line unit looked in developing?
I'll tell you, the guy that's coming along that we moved from offense is Joe Evans. Joe is really has shined since we moved him over. I tell everybody, I haven't coached him in a year and a half. He's better. I didn't mess him up. So, but he's come along, man. He's coming out of his hips. He's doing great. Glenn Logan's doing great. Jay Roy is making some improvement. Jacoby Gilrea's making some improvement. Apo Ika has stepped into the nose tackle position and starting. But right now, I'll see the three starting interior guys being Glenn Logan, Joe Evans, and Apo Ika.
Wow.
With Jay Roy and Jacoby Gilrea backing them up. So we're pretty solid there. I'll tell you, a young man that had a really good scrimmage was Sonny Panu. Sonny did a great job, junior college player. We got to play him in. We got to play him tackle. He made several tackles in the backfield, tackles for loss. Plays a lot of energy, so he can help us there.
Versatility.
Where's a great number?
53.
I mean, I've been waiting for Sony to come through. Come on.
Coach, Trey White, $70 million, highest paid cornerback in the NFL of guaranteed cash as he is maxed out over the weekend. Another positive for an LSU alumni. You've got 42 guys on active NFL rosters. How much do you pay attention to this week in the league and to that type of news with what's happening to your former players?
Oh, that's big. And, you know, Corey Raymond and Steve Ensmingo did a great job of recruiting him in Shreveport. We're so happy for him. What a great young man, a great character young man. Couldn't be happier for him and his family.
And then the team last year, Coach, you guys had so many expectations at this point last year internally, and then you look around and now all these guys are on NFL rosters. Is there any communication between those guys after they got the call that they had made the 53 on Saturday between you and the current NFL group?
Oh, no question. You know, we're all excited for those guys. In fact, today on Tuesday, we have an NFL Appreciation Day. We saw all our guys that are doing well in the NFL. So they haven't started the season, but next week on Tuesday, everybody is playing in the NFL. Everybody is doing well in the team meeting. We make a nice little highlight film and just honor those guys. And again, I tell the guys, hey, this is going to be you next year. Everybody wants to go to the NFL. We want you to go to the NFL. Here's how it's done.
A day closer to kickoff. Tigers, September 26th in Baton Rouge versus Mississippi State. Their head coach, Ed Orgeron, every Tuesday right here on Off the Bench. Thank you, Coach.
All right, man. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir. There he is. Check it in. Coach Ed Orgeron from LSU Football. We'll close out hour one next.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.